Stanley Kubrick would have seen Malcolm McDowell in Lindsay Anderson's If. Malcolm McDowell had the sort of the boyishness, the lovable, in spite of his badness, quality about him that Kubrick would have felt was key and that perhaps no other actor could have had.
The combination of velvet and violence, of snobbery and violence.
He's like a child. And I mean that in the nicest way, in the most positive way.
Malcolm does unbalanced very well. I mean, he does extreme personality disorder very well.
I think the only other person at the time who was ever considered for the part, although this was before Kubrick became involved, was Mick Jagger. At one point there was an idea that Jagger would play Alex and that the rest of the Rolling Stones would play the Droogs. Kubrick did say that if Malcolm McDowell hadn't been available, he probably wouldn't have made the movie.
I'm completely reformed!
In a way, McDowell never played another role after that. He played that role forever and ever because it fitted him so well.
Hello, Lucy. Had a busy night. We've been working hard, too. Pardon me, Luce.
Getting tired. Stanley would like, what's wrong with this guy? You know, we're out all day and these actors go to their dressing rooms and we have to stay out in the cold and the rain and we have to be hardy and these actors, you know.
People do get knocked around on Kubrick movies, you know, it's part of the game.
I do this and that and this because I don't like your horrible type, do I? And if you want to start something, well, you just go ahead. Go on. Please do.
He was very attracted to the idea of making the aversion therapy to look realistic. And to this end, he decided to get these clips that hold open the eyes, metal clips.
So poor Malcolm is sitting there with a straitjacket on, with these clips holding his eyes wide open. Now, you just stand yourself like that. See how long you can stand it for. Well, 30 takes later, and your eyes are still clipped, and you've got these boom, to keep them moist. So, at one point, Malcolm couldn't take it any longer, and he just panicked, screamed, or was angry. I don't know what it was.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
He just wrenched his arms to try and get out of the straitjacket. And in doing so, he hit one of the clips. And that scratched his cornea. And of course, he was in hell. He was in...
Another one was the scene where he's taken by his old friends and brutalized, and they dump him headfirst into a trough of water for pigs.
And I was watching this scene, I went, is this for real? Because it goes on forever and ever. And it was freezing cold. I mean, England's not like California. It's freezing cold. And he's laying on clay ground, which is soaking wet, freezing cold, with a skimpy outfit on.
Kubrick had the water made up by colouring it with meat extract. And Malcolm complained, you know, that after 27 takes of being dunked in this terrible cold soup, you know, that he was utterly revolted by the smell of this thing forever.
Hats off to Malcolm. He was in every scene. I mean, he did well.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
It's a stinky world because there's no law and order anymore. It's a stinky world because it lets the young get onto the old.